Election season is upon us. But what you may not know is that the most important election of all is actually upon us right now. New Zealand's Bird of the Year. Yes, that's right. Here in New Zealand we have an annual competition where people get to vote for their top 5 New Zealand birds. 75% of our land birds are threatened with extinction and 90% of our seabirds are threatened with extinction. So anything we can do to get more awareness on these birds, we've got to do it. Now today I'm going to be ranking the winners, the past 15 winners from 2005 to 2019 winners of Bird of the Year. Now if you want to know more about this competition and how you can vote, please visit www.birdoftheyear.org.nz. It begins on the 2nd of November and runs for 2 weeks. Just a disclaimer as well, I love all of New Zealand's birds. They're all very important. They all have a very special role to play in the ecosystem. It's just a bit of fun, alright? So first things first, we need to explain the tiers. Now these are the things that I think make an exceptional bird. Has it got beauty? Has it got a good call? Is it adaptable to the challenges in its environment? Does it play an important role in the ecosystem? Does it pull its weight? What's going to get a bird somewhere in the world is good personality. If it's something you're not going to see every day, that's just something a little bit extra pizzazz on top. Basically, charisma, uniqueness, nerve and talent. At the top of the list, we're not worthy. These are the birds that are truly exceptional. They've got everything plus a little bit more. Next down, we've got the complete package. Everything on the list. Really solid bird. Then we've got Kmart furniture. Now these birds are solid too. You know, if I walk into a room and I see some Kmart furniture, I'm going to say, hey, good design, you know, it's doing its job. It's probably nice and cheap as well. Maybe there's a couple of minor faults with it, so that one's your middle range. Down below that we've got Scratchy Blanket. You're not reaching for them first, you know, they're doing their best and they serve a role, but nobody really wants to use them. Then down the bottom, where's the manager? This bird is not what we paid for. The winner of the 2005 Bird of the Year contest was the tui. What do we think of when we see tui? So they've got a beautiful song, make over 300 different sounds, and that's quite impressive. And they can mimic human speech as well. They're very eye-catching. Lovely iridescent blue and green in the sunlight. They're also good pollinators, you know, they like the nectar. But I'm gonna be honest with you, tui they're kind of dickheads. They chase the other nectar feeding birds away, like the bellbirds and the hee-hee. They're also pretty common. You're not gonna fall over if you see a tui. If you're mean to the other birds, it knocks you down a couple points in my books. Kmart furniture. The next winner, the Piwakawaka or Fantail. It's probably a popularity contest on this one. They're everybody's favourite for good reasons. They've earned it. They've earned it. Lovely fanned tail. They're very friendly. They'll come out of the trees to come and say hello. They'll chip chip chip. They also eat insects. Annoying insects. I guess the only thing that knocks them down a peg for me is that they are quite common. They're the complete package. This is quite a surprise to me. Is it Bird of the Year material? Yeah, it's cute and it has a nice call. But Bird of the Year? The Rero, or the grey warbler. It's grey and it's a warbler. I mean, it's all in the name. There's no mystery, no intrigue. Sorry, grey warbler. I gotta throw some shade at you on this one. Scratchy Blanket. Yes! Now let's move on to the real talent here. It is the Kakapo. It looks like moss. It's a parrot and it walks around on the ground, and it's also nocturnal. It's super rare. There's only about 200 of them left. They only live on a couple little islands down the bottom of New Zealand. You're probably never going to see them in your life. That's how rare they are. Also, it's got fame. There is a very famous clip of a Kakapo. It's climbed on top of the producer's head while they're filming this segment, and it starts having his way with him. I mean, it's comedy gold really, isn't it? I should also mention with the Kakapo that they aren't very adaptable, unfortunately. Being on the ground, they're really vulnerable to predators. But to be honest, all of the other stuff outweighs it for me. So Kakapo, we're not worthy of you. You're going top tier. Now this is one that I would have thought would have won right off the bat. It's our national bird. Now Kiwi's got some points because it's so weird. I think it's an evolutionarily it's a step beyond the other birds. So it eats worms in the ground, right? And it's got this beak, it looks a bit like a pair of chopsticks, sticks them into the ground, grabs the worms and eats them. It's also got whiskers like a cat so that it can sense vibrations because it's practically blind. The only thing with Kiwi though is they aren't very adaptable. I'm gonna put Kiwi, is it We're Not Worthy or is it Complete Package? I think it's gotta be We're Not Worthy. I think I would be killed if I said that Kiwi were not the top of the top. Another parrot, parakeet, Kakariki, green, so nice colour, a little bit cute. They're also a bit stupid. Back in the late 1800s, around that period of time in New Zealand, there were huge flocks of Kakariki, and actually farmers didn't really like them very much because they would try to plant seeds in the fields and all the Kakariki would fly down and eat all of the seed. So they ended up shooting a lot of them, and they ended up plucking them and using all the feathers for stuffing pillows. That's how many there were. You have to be pretty dumb to just continue to fly in a huge flock, land on a field, eat the seed, while everybody around you's getting shot. I think she's came out furniture. Now this one was quite a shock to me because this is a bird that isn't even from New Zealand. It's the Pukaki, following after Kakapo and Kiwi. People voted for Pukaki. I'm gonna say it's rigged. They do have power in numbers, they're not very rare. So yeah, let's not rule out the chances that this one was rigged. Not even from here. Come on. She's going straight and where's the manager? Thankfully, the bird that followed after that, complete flip. The Kariarea, the native falcon. Now this bird is impressive. It's beautiful. I mean, just look at those feathers. It's sharp. It's small. It will drive away birds that are way bigger than itself to defend its chicks. Females in particular are very aggressive as well, so you know, girl power. It's quite rare, you're not going to see a falcon every day, and if you do, you're going to stop right there and you're going to have a good look. Another plus, it can hunt some of those introduced mammals to New Zealand, the mice and the rats. She's We're Not Worthy because just a beautiful, beautiful bird, all-rounder. Love it. Next we've got one that you might not know very much about, the Mohoua, or the YellowEyed. They were once one of the most common birds here in New Zealand, but now they're not so common at all. And that's because they nest inside of little holes in trees, and so when a rat or a stoat climbs up the tree to get the eggs, they're basically trapped. So they do lose a couple of points there for being a bit unadaptable. Now they are pretty. I like the yellow. I reckon came up furniture. Okay, I'm putting Mohoua, I'm changing my mind, I'm putting her in complete package because they're pretty, they're social, they're nice to the other birds. They are adaptable in the sense they can have a lot of chicks. They're quite rare. Yeah, I'm calling it. The fairy tern. Now this bird has the title of the most endangered bird in New Zealand, so it gets a few points for that, but in saying that, there's quite a few things that knock this bird down. Okay, we're getting the sunglasses out again. They're high maintenance, and when you live in nature, it's not good to be high maintenance because a lot of the time your standards aren't going to be met. Basically they don't even build a nest, so they just scrape out a little section of sand. Like that's pathetic. Live in windy areas as well, so the eggs are just going to roll away down the beach. There's people that are literally paid to watch these birds full time during the breeding season to make sure the bloody eggs don't blow away down the beach. Now what's more is they can actually have 3 clutches of eggs in a season, but if one of them works out, they're like, okay, cool, done. Don't need to raise any more, even though I'm the most endangered bird in the world. Like, what? Come on. Most seabirds, they like to nest in a colony. The plus side of that is you've got others to back you up if a predator comes along. Fairy terns, they're like, yeah, don't care for it. Introverts, potentially. But when it comes to being the most endangered bird in New Zealand, it's not a good idea to be alone because if a predator comes along, you're stuffed, basically. Where's the manager? I need to speak to somebody about this bird because this is not what I ordered. We were a little bit upset by that fairy tern, but we've got a good one to make up for it now, the Bartailed Godwit, having the longest migration of any bird in the world. You know, they're absolute troopers. So their migration is from Alaska to New Zealand, 11,000 kilometers, and they can do that in about 10 days or so. And what's more is you get the best of the best, eternal summer. You never have to be cold. I like that way of living. I think that's real cool. They're quite pretty. I mean, they're a little bit grey and mottled, but then they change colour for the breeding season and become this nice kind of orangey brown. They're not rare because they turn up in big flocks, but you're not going to see them all year round, so I think it would be pretty cool to see them. I'm going to say, Bartailed Godwit, you're a complete package, mate. Well done. 2016 Bird of the Year is the Kakapo, the North Island Kakapo to be precise. They're beautiful. Like, look at those blue wattles. They also feature on the $50 note, along with the blue mushroom. They've got the most amazing call. Along with the kiruru, it's one of the only birds left that can actually swallow big fruits from big trees, so it's really important for regrowing our forests, dispersing those seeds. Well done. Adaptable, yes, actually. I mean, it is quite endangered, rare points. It is adaptable because it can fight off rats. So I'm going to say we're not worthy to have Kakapo. Kia, these are absolutely iconic. The only alpine parrot in the world. They've got the intelligence of, it's estimated, about a 4-year-old human being. People have to build jungle gyms for them on the side of the road so they don't end up moving cones around. Like, they need entertainment. They're also quite rare. You're only going to see them in the South Island in particular spots. They're beautiful. Like, look at these red feathers. That's just a little bit of a teal moment on the back there. Complete package with just a little bit more because of that nice intelligence. You know, they've got a reputation. They're putting New Zealand on the map. The humble kereru, the wood pigeon. I give it a few points because it does have a very important role in spreading seeds, which is good for regrowing forests. They're pretty, you know, they've got this beautiful iridescent purple, pinks and blues going on and the lovely white singlet. They are a little bit stupid. Actually, they're probably the most stupid out of any of these birds on here. They get drunk on berries, on fermented berries, and then they fly around haphazardly, whacking into cars and windows. They're a messy, messy drunk. I'm gonna say they are the complete package, thank you. Alright, and last year's winner, it is the YellowEyed Penguin, or hoiho. They are cool, they're funny, they've got good personality. Hoiho, it means noisy shouter in Māori, and that's because they literally scream. They do have a few issues, they're not very adaptable, and that knocks them down quite a few points here because we have to put so many resources into these bloody penguins. They are very vulnerable to different diseases, avian malaria being one of them. They're very susceptible to climate change because they eat fish. And with all of the warming water and things, the fish stocks are changing. Will they be able to adapt? We will have to wait and see. But unfortunately, mate, you're going in Kmart furniture, okay? Okay, so here's my completed list. Now it's quite interesting because we've got quite a few at the top. That's probably because I just completely find it so hard to hate on any of these birds. Hey, so if you agree with me, got any beef with these decisions, I want to hear it. Let's talk about these birds. That's the whole point of this thing. Don't forget to vote as well. There's some true underdogs out there that I can't believe have not won before. And it's got to be a good one, okay? 2020 has been an absolute. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure you comment, like and subscribe. Share it around if you like to spread awareness of the Bird of the Year competition. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!